Today I'm going to show you two horrible ports. The NES port of SNK's popular game Athena, and the Nintendo 64 port of Carmageddon 2. Both are absolutely terrible and completely disgrace the games they originally were, as they not only managed to water down the original experience, but bring out flaws that either weren't noticeable in the original game or simply didn't exist. I'd say that the two of these are fairly notorious, especially Carmageddon 2, but we'll have to let the shit shower rain on us first with Athena. The plot of this game is that Athena is bored with her life as a princess and one day opens the door that shouldn't be opened, and she ends up in a savage land. What's important here is the door part. I don't think you'd understand it from watching the NES intro because there is no fucking door! I understand that the NES had graphical limitations and you couldn't port the entire arcade experience, but that's just lazy. Once you get into the world of Forest, you start noticing some things, like how this game has a weird obsession with gigantic holes that are just begging for cocks to come out of them. I'm not kidding when I say that I spent a good 5 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck this thing was. It made me uncomfortable. Beyond that, the gameplay is simple. Keep advancing until you reach the end of the level. You get weapons and armor to help you, but the main problem with this piece of shit is the varying difficulty level. It'll just get hard for no reason to the point where you think the game is glitching on you. Look at this! The giraffe fuckers just keep on coming! And speaking of coming, if Athena gets hit from the back by one of these giraffes, it's fucking over! You are done! More bullshit includes the inability to go backwards in a level, which really leads to some awkward situations where you really can't do a damn thing. By the way, never get this garbage ass crossbow. It'll get you fucking killed! I think it's needless to say by now that this game is a goddamn joke. I'd rather pour salt in my eyes and have Athena kick me in the balls than ever play this god-awful excuse for a port again, which is why this game gets a big spoonful of bullshit. If you want the real Athena experience, play the original or play full throttle. Now on to more serious matters. It's time to play Carmageddon for the Nintendo 64. Many people get the impression that this is a port of the first Carmageddon game for the PC. However, it isn't. It's a port of Carmageddon 2 Carpocalypse Now. For those of you who don't know what Carmageddon is, here's the gist of it. It's a racing game. You have to complete each course in a set amount of time. You can get more time by collecting bonuses, messing up other competitors' cars, or by running over pedestrians. It's a pretty bloody game, but it's absolutely entertaining. Carmageddon 2 was released in 1998 and ported to the Nintendo 64 in 2000. Now, this fucking piece of trash was developed by a company named Software Creations. They are truly to blame here. However, it is worth mentioning that it was published by none other than Titus Software. That's right, the people behind Superman 64 are also partially responsible for this. Now, I think it's time we start playing Carmageddon. Don't fasten your seatbelt because if we crash, we may just be lucky enough to die. When you get into the game, you've got a few modes to play around with. The first being the actual Carmageddon, the second being a quick start, and the third being head-to-head. When you actually start the Carmageddon, you get this gigantic wall of text that no one should ever be bothered to read. Why couldn't there be some goddamn voice acting? There's only a few games where I'd tolerate shit like that, and Carmageddon isn't one of them. However, this shit is just a prelude to the eternal hell we're about to enter. Where the fuck do I even begin with this? First off, the textures look like they were just fished out of a toilet. They are complete ass, and if you think this is bad, take a look at this. I know the Nintendo 64 didn't have the greatest graphical capabilities, but the only game I've seen with worse textures than this was fucking Daikatana. Also, this game is called Carmageddon, but I don't think I'm controlling a goddamn car in this game. Last time I checked, cars couldn't drive up fucking walls, and they stopped moving after they'd been completely turned over. If you're wondering what the hell these things I'm running over are, well, they're the pedestrians. Except not really. Since some people were complete pussies even back then, Carmageddon 2 was censored in places like the UK and Germany, and the pedestrians got turned into zombies or even aliens. What I don't understand is why the zombies are here. This game is rated M for mature, just like the original Carmageddon 2 for the PC that had humans getting run over. But in this game, it's still the damn zombies. That's a steaming load of dog shit if there ever was one. Fuck censorship. Another problem with this game is one that Superman 64 shares too. The textures are such abysmal garbage that you can't accurately tell what's water and what's grass. Speaking of water, if you go into it, your car sinks, and you respawn where? That's right, mere inches away from the place you fell. What the fuck type of shit programming was that? It's like playing a first-person shooter where after someone shoots you down, you respawn in the same place where you just had your fucking brains blown out. By far, the biggest problem plaguing this game is the control. Your car must be trying to break the sound barrier because once that thing is rolling, it's going so fast, you can't even control the damn thing. That, combined with everything else I just mentioned, is why this is one of the worst fucking games I've ever played, and definitely makes the top 3 of worst Nintendo 64 games of all time. This game should have been called Carmageddon and Up the Ass. I wouldn't go near this shit again if there was a bear trap sandwiching my cock and yanking me towards it. Time would be better spent trying to fit the original Carmageddon jewel case up your asshole and fishing it out of your intestines with your arm. It's toxic garbage bubbling from the limp-dick idiots who developed such a shit-spewing, ball-munching port, and I'm just about to run out of descriptive phrases to convey how much I fucking hate this piss-puking god-awful piece of fucking filth. Carmageddon for the Nintendo 64 gets a resounding rest in piss.